Hello YouTube, and welcome to the first video for my new channel. We're going to start with Kerbal Space Program. If you've not played this, this is a sandbox sort of flight simulator. You have to build rockets and get these Kerbal noughts, I suppose they'd be, into outer space, and pretty much any sort of mission objective you make for yourself. Thus, it's a sandbox game. It's only going to be a quick one. I've actually spent most of this afternoon faffing around with all different types of recording software trying to get this working, so I'm getting pretty tired. So all we're really going to do is just make a very basic rocket, get it off the ground. The objective is to keep the three original guys, which will be Bill, Bob and Jebediah Kerman. Keep them alive as long as we possibly can, whilst also meeting some basic mission objectives. Okay, so like I said, it's just going to be a basic one. We're going to go with a Mark 1 command pod. You have to have a command module to start with. If you've not played it, this is basically how it works. So that's your command module there. First thing you want to do is make sure that command module can get down on the ground safely. Number two, you want to stack the decoupler to make sure that it's not carrying too much weight, so when that blows, it blows everything that's underneath it off. Then SAS modules. Now the SAS modules, they stabilise the craft. Well, sorry, this is the advanced SAS, beg your pardon. This stabilises the craft, make sure it travels in whatever line it is that you want it. You achieve that by pressing T to turn it on and off when you're pointing in the right direction. Now, I think that this SAS module, actually the advanced SAS module there, does this one's job, and this is to stop it spinning out of control. But I like to add it anyway, just for a bit of extra stability regardless. So I'm just going to lift that up a bit more. And I'll put a link in the description as well. It's about $15 at the moment. Thoroughly recommend it. It's worth every penny. Very addictive little game. Keep coming back to it. Okay, so these three things that I've just stuck on here, these are fuel tanks for rocket engines. You've got three at the moment. You've got this one, which is the most amount of thrust you can have. This one, which is a little bit less thrust, but it gimbals, which means that it's you can steer. And this one here, which is a very small one, burns a very small amount of fuel. Only really good when you're up in orbit, up in outer space, where you've got no resistance against you, and for getting off the moon. So we're just going to have this one here with the gimbal. That would probably get off as it is, but I want to give it a bit of an extra kick up the backside. So we're going to have three of these. Now these are much like the stack decoupler that was up here. These are radial decouplers. Do pretty much the same job, but instead of having to stack things on top, you can now start stacking things sideways. So we're going to go with solid fuel burner, solid fuel rocket. I believe in the real world this would be a RATOL, a rocket assisted takeoff, but I'm not sure on that one. I'm not, by no means am I a rocket scientist, so if in doubt, take what I'm telling you as wrong. Okay, so we're going to have three of those. This is a symmetry button. You can have this, all these different types here. This is a snap to as well, so if you want to fine tune where you want to put them, turn that off. If you want it to go onto any angle, like so effectively turn this round shape into that would be an not an octagon, not a pentagon, a six-sided gun. I forget. My shapes aren't brilliant. But yeah, and it'll actually snap to an area rather than just sort of floating around it willy-nilly. Down here on the right hand side is a list of how everything will fire. So this here is these three solid fuel burners. This here is the rocket's engine. And then this here is the radial decouplers. That there's the stack decoupler. That there is the parachute. Always have the parachute. Very important. And then the SAS modules. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add that so that all three rockets are going to fire at the same time. Then, so that's stage one. Stage two will be these radial decouplers blowing and removing these, which will leave this clear to carry on going. And then eventually the radial the stack decoupler will go and it will take the parachute out. That's a 5-minute video. I'm just going to name it. We're going to call it Alpha 1. Whoops. just to be nice and boring. I'm going to save that, and we're going to hit the launch pad. So it's just a quick video that I want to get out tonight along with the welcome video. Okay, so we're going to hit T. That's going to turn this SAS unit on down here. We've also, if you hit R, you've got RCS. That's a different type of fuel which is used to angle yourself in space. If you're aware of the Apollo film, you'll see the little jets coming out to angle it. We will be looking at eventually, but for the time being, we just want to get onto a just test a bit of a test flight. Okay, so we're going to throttle up. See down there at the bottom left hand side, that's the throttle. This is sort of like this big blue ball in the middle is a false horizon, so at the moment you're facing straight up, and down on the bottom left you have the pitch, yawn and roll, and that's where the rocket's trying to go. You see it's wobbling a little bit. The mechanics aren't perfect. It is an early alpha game under heavy development, but without further ado, 3, 2, 1, and let's take off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to climb until these solid fuel burners have gone, and so let's just turn this off and pitch over a little bit. You see it's already starting to try to spin out of control a little bit. So that's the solid fuel's gone, so we're going to blow that stage and off they go. Okay, and I think we know now then that that's a successful flight. We're going to throttle down. I'm going to turn the rocket round and take that off so that the command modules go in a different way, and we're going to slingshot it like that, and we'll study that back out with the SAS, and wait till we hit about 1,000 meters, and then we're going to drop the parachute. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, blow. Okay, and then now see now that the just above the big blue ball at the bottom, there's the speed in meters per second. See, that's just radically dropped. That was the rocket there touching down. Eventually, we're going to try and make all the parts of this recoverable. With things like parachutes, and I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I've played this game quite a lot, but I've not really played it with any sort of serious conviction, so I'm not exactly sure how things like spacecraft persistence work in it, and I'm sure as hell space planes, I know recoverable aircrafts are notoriously difficult to build, even by rocket scientists. There we go, that's a successful splashdown. So Bill, Jebediah and Bob Kerman in the bottom right hand side there, they're all safe and sound. And so what we'll do is we will now go ahead and end the flight. And here's some stats for you there. So 2 minutes and 9 seconds flight time. We'll do better than that. High speed 205 meters per second, and we're going 551 meters per second in a straight line over land. 2.3 G, I mean, that's starting to enter some pretty ropey territories there. I wouldn't like to go on with that one, but yeah, these guys are pretty hardcore. So we'll go back to the Space Center. I'm going to call it a day for now, but thank you very much for joining me for the first video, and please subscribe and stay tuned for the other ones. Don't forget to suggest other games that you want to see me do, and suggest ways for me to play the game, in fact. If you're not sure on what games I've got, then please have a look at the welcome video, and other than that, I shall bid you adieu. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.